Alcibiades had always been a controversial figure in ancient Greece. His charm, charisma, and military prowess had won him many supporters, but his recklessness and arrogance had also made him many enemies. Despite his mixed reputation, there was no denying that Alcibiades was a force to be reckoned with. When news of Alcibiades' return from Persia reached Athens, the city was in a state of turmoil. The Peloponnesian War had left Greece divided and weakened, and there were many competing factions vying for power. Some saw Alcibiades' return as an opportunity to unite Greece under a strong leader, while others saw him as a threat to their own ambitions. Alcibiades wasted no time in making his intentions clear. He announced his plan to establish himself as the sole ruler of Greece, with absolute power over all the city-states. He argued that this was the only way to bring stability and prosperity to Greece, and that he was uniquely qualified to lead the nation to greatness. Many Athenians were skeptical of Alcibiades' new ambition, but his persuasive rhetoric and promises of stability and prosperity won over enough of the population to give him a mandate to rule. He formed an alliance with Sparta, which had long been Athens' bitter enemy, and used his connections in Persia to secure funding for his grandiose plans. Alcibiades moved quickly to consolidate his power, establishing an absolute dictatorship that left no room for dissent. He used his vast wealth, which he had amassed during his time in Persia, to bribe or coerce his opponents into submission. He also established a network of spies and informants to root out any potential threats to his rule. Despite his authoritarian methods, Alcibiades was able to bring a measure of stability to Greece. He built roads and infrastructure, improved the economy, and kept the various city-states from going to war with each other. Under his leadership, Greece became a powerful and prosperous empire. But as time went on, Alcibiades' rule became increasingly oppressive. He crushed any dissent with ruthless force, and his thirst for power seemed to know no bounds. His once loyal supporters began to turn against him, and many people began to fear for their lives. Alcibiades' quest for power had also made him many enemies. The Spartan alliance began to crumble, as Sparta realized that they had merely traded one enemy for another. Persia, too, began to withdraw their support, as they saw Alcibiades' power grab as a threat to their own interests. In the end, Alcibiades' dictatorship collapsed under the weight of its own corruption and brutality. His once great empire fell into chaos and anarchy, and the dreams of a united Greece were shattered. As Alcibiades looked out over the ruins of his empire, he realized too late that his quest for power had been a tragic mistake. The legacy he left behind was one of destruction and despair, a cautionary tale of the dangers of absolute power. The people of Greece were left to pick up the pieces and try to rebuild their shattered nation. It would take many years for them to recover from the devastation that Alcibiades had wrought, but they would eventually emerge stronger and wiser for the experience. And Alcibiades would be remembered as a cautionary tale, a warning to future leaders of the dangers of unchecked ambition and the seductive lure of absolute power.